of the hotel. No prep distance at this time.
Brian Thompson, the CEO of UnitedHealth, was shot and killed in Midtown Manhattan. The fatal attack has shocked many, not just because of his brutality, but also due to the strange and deliberate clues left behind.
The words deny, defend, and depose were found on the shell casing.
Defend, deny, and depose. These words are eerily reminiscent of criticism leveled at the health insurance industry, specifically the 3 Ds: delay, deny, and defend, tactics many arts are used to avoid paying claims. These words seems to send a message, and that's when the connection to Thompson's role as the CEO of United started to take shape. Investigators now believe this wasn't a random act. It was targeted. The murder has sparked a mixed reaction across the public. On one side, there's sympathy for Thompson's family and condemnation of the violent act, and on the other, there's palpable frustration for those who have lost loved ones due to denied claims or inadequate coverage.
I'm having a hard time being empathetic to the situation whatsoever, because this is a billion-dollar company, okay, that denies access to people every single day.
To understand why someone might feel this level of frustration, you have to look at the numbers. UnitedHealth has been at the center of this controversy for years. The company denied 32% of in-network claims this year, double the industry's average, leaving countless patients and families without critical care. Meanwhile, UnitedHealth reported $22 billion in profit last year, illustrating a system where corporate gains often come at the expense of patients' lives. Think about that. A company making billions in profit while denying care to people who need it the most. It's no wonder why many Americans are so angry. The reality is, the American healthcare system is broken. We spend more time or more money per person on healthcare than any other developed countries, yet we have the worst outcomes. Here's why. Our system isn't designed to take care of people. It's designed to make money. Insurance companies like UnitedHealth make billions by doing 2 things: taking as much money as possible from premiums and paying out as little as possible in claims. Denying care isn't a bug in the system. It's a feature. And it's not just UnitedHealth. The entire system is built this way. Medical bills are the leading cause of bankruptcy in this country. And we have one of the lowest life expectancy among developed nations. So when people hear about the murder of a CEO like Brian Thompson, Their reactions aren't just about him. They're about a system that failed them time and time again. In this episode of the Mady Cisse podcast, we explore the facts of Thompson's murder, unpack the growing anger surrounding America's health system, and reflect on what this incident revealed about the state of our society. From chilling clues left behind to the numbers that expose a broken system, we dive deep into a story that is both shocking and tragically familiar. Right after this. Alright, so let's start with what happened. At first, police had little to go on. The shooter was masked and the area's security camera only captured a glimpse of someone running away. But then, during the investigation, officers discovered shell casings at the scene. And that's when things got strange.
Asking every New Yorker and American to look at the picture, the photo, and to assist us. If you know him, if his face looks familiar, please reach out to our law enforcement.
The casing weren't just discarded. They had words written on them. Defend, deny, and depose. The words written on those casings aren't just random. They echo criticism of the insurance industry, specifically the so-called 3Ds: delay, deny, defend. These tactics, critics argue, are used by insurance companies to avoid paying claims, leaving patients and families to deal with the consequences. And UnitedHealth, the company Thompson led, is seen as one of the worst offenders. This connection raised eyebrows, especially after Thompson's wife revealed that her husband had been receiving threats. She didn't give many details, but she hinted that they were tied to his work at UnitedHealth. So now we are left with the chilling question. Was this murder a desperate act by someone who felt betrayed by the system? And if so, what does that say about where we are as a society? So let's look at UnitedHealth, the numbers behind all this anger. Allegedly, UnitedHealth is the largest private health insurance provider in the US. This year alone, they denied 32% of in-network claims. For context, the industry average is 16%. That means UnitedHealth denied claims at twice the rate of their competitors. And these aren't just denials on paper. No, these are life and death decisions. A Yale study found that in 2019, over 76,000 Americans died because they couldn't get the health care they needed. That's more than 200 people every day. And while these tragedies unfolded, UnitedHealth reported $22 billion in profit last year. Billion with the B in profit. So the public reaction, sympathy meets frustration, of course. On one hand, there's a lot of sympathy for his family. A man was gunned down in the middle of a city, and that's a tragedy. His wife lost her husband, and his children lost their father. But on the other hand, there's a significant amount of anger.
I think this shooter is trying to send a message that someone, either himself or a loved one or someone close to him, has been harmed by this insurance company.
And most people have seen comments online saying things like, I can't feel bad for him. Man, my dad died because his insurance denied coverage. Or, this is what happened when you profit off people's suffering. It's a complicated reaction, but it speaks to the level of frustration people feel towards our healthcare system. And here's the thing, that anger isn't coming out of nowhere. Imagine as a parent whose child needs life-saving surgery, only to be told your claim is denied. Imagine watching a loved one die because their medication was deemed not medically necessary. These aren't just hypothetical scenarios. These are happening every day in America. And while these families suffer in silence, companies like UnitedHealth are reporting record profits. The truth is, Brian Thompson's murder is a tragedy. But so are the 76,000 lives lost every year because of the system. And those deaths, they rarely make headlines. The story should force us to confront some hard truth. Why our healthcare system is like this? Why do we allow companies to profit off people's suffering? And most importantly, how do we fix it? We need accountability. We need politicians who aren't bought by corporate interests. And we need to stop pretending this is normal. Every other developed country has figured out how to provide universal health care. It's time for America to do the same. Brian Thompson's death is a wake-up call, not just about the danger of unchecked anger, but about the systematic issues that create that anger in the first place. It's time to demand change, because if we don't, this won't be the last story like this. Thanks for listening to the Mady Cisse podcast. I know this is a heavy episode. It's really fresh in our memory, but these are conversations we need to have. So what do you think? Can we fix our healthcare system? Let me know your thoughts on social media, in the comments. And as always, stay informed, stay engaged, and let's keep fighting for a better world. Peace.